Well, what a fabulous way to reintroduce myself. My name is Monty. I'm a former alt-right Christian fundamentalist. I went to church twice a week for 25 years straight, only private Christian schools, studied theology independently at the behest of my father. I graduated from Liberty University and I studied theology in Israel. Y'all get so mad when I say the Bible shouldn't be in schools, not just because of the separation of church and state, but because it's not working in churches. You want to slap that into a classroom while you don't want to feed the kids that go to that classroom. You love talking about the 10 Commandments in a classroom when you don't feed the poor, which the Old Testament commands hundreds of times. You also don't follow the clothing restrictions or dietary restrictions. And when you get confronted with that, you backpedal and you say, oh, well, Jesus died on the cross for us, and so he abolished the old law. That's weird. Then why do you use it to demonize gay people? But since we're talking about Jesus, let's just see what Jesus actually said, because it's always the 10 Commandments and never the Beatitudes, I've noticed. And I wonder why that is. Could it be that the Beatitudes say, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Do you see that reflected in Americans, Christians culture right now, especially with our current administration? I don't. And Matthew 7, which I don't need to flip to because it's memorized, says, you will recognize a tree by its fruit. A good tree bears good fruit, and a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Now, what is that fruit? In Galatians, it says the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Do you see that reflected in the Christian nationalist movement? Again, you love using the 10 Commandments and you love Old Testament God until it comes to commands like adultery, which Jesus revisited. I'll give you a perfect example of how you like to use the Bible to your advantage and not be honest about it. Purity culture is pushed on women when Jesus only ever addressed lust in men. And he said that if you look at a woman lustfully in your heart, you have committed adultery and you have sinned against her. You've also committed adultery if you divorce your wife for any other reason than infidelity. And you know what else he said about that lust? He said, if your eye causes you to sin, gouge it out and throw it into the fire, because your lust is your problem. And you know what you guys do? That's not literal. So it's only literal when it's convenient. How fascinating. Slapping scripture on a poster for your own self-righteousness while you refuse to feed the poor and treat the immigrant with kindness, which the Bible commands, is not just an intentional misreading and misapplication of the Bible, it's blatant hypocrisy. It's what Jesus said in Matthew 23:25 when he said, woe to you, you Pharisees, you teachers of the law, you hypocrites. You clean the outside of the dish and the cup, but inside you are full of greed and self-indulgence.